Hello. 5 stories from the Mathnawi of Rumi. UNESCO has named 2007 International Year of Rumi. Number 1, best-selling poet of the United States, whose verses read by celebrities like Deepak Chopra, Madonna, Goldie Hawn, and Demi Moore. According to Time magazine, Rumi is mystic of the century, and according to the New York Times, Rumi is the most influential poet in America since the 1960s, who has outsold Shakespeare. America and the Muslim world each see others through its own cultural lens. What Americans think as freedom, the Muslim world sees as undisciplined behaviors, and what many Muslims consider religious, Americans see as evidence of fanaticism. But in this tension, all the Americans are reading Rumi. If the Muslim world and America are so different, how has a dervish of the 13th century entered the hearts of the Americans? The answer must be, although Rumi was a philosopher and a mystic of Islam, his doctrine advocated unlimited tolerance, positive reasoning, goodness, charity, and awareness through love. To him and to his disciples, all religions were more or less truth. Looking with the same eye on Muslim, Jew, and Christian alike, his peaceful and tolerant teaching has appealed to men of all sects and creeds, saying, "Come, come again, whatever you are, whether you are infidel, idolater, or fire worshipper, whether you have broken your vows of repentance 100 times, this is not the gate of despair, this is the gate of hope. Come, come again." Story 1. The Merchant and his Cravat Parrot. There was a merchant who kept a parrot in a cage. Before going to India for business, he asked the parrot if he had any message to send to other parrots in that country. And the parrot asked him to tell them that he was kept prisoned in a cage. The merchant promised to deliver this message, and on reaching India, told the first group of parrots he saw. On hearing the message, the parrot died and fell down. The merchant was angry with this parrot for having sent such a deadly message, and on his return home explained angrily his parrot's situation. But as soon as the parrot heard the merchant's story, then he too fell down dead in his cage. The merchant, after crying for his death, took his body out of the cage and threw it away. But to his surprise, the parrot became alive and flew away, explaining that the Indian parrot had only imitated death to suggest this way of escaping from the cage. This story is interpreted as explaining the saying, "If talking is silver, silence is gold," or "We can really be free by controlling our tongues." Story 2. The Man Who Was Tattooed. It was the custom of the men of Qazwin to have tattoos on their bodies. Qazwin was a city in Iran. A really coward man went to the artist to have such a tattoo on his back, and desired that it might be the figure of a lion. But when he felt pained by needles, he wrote to the artist saying, "What part of the lion are you now painting?" The artist replied, "I am doing the tail." Our man said, "Never mind the tail, go on with another part." The artist accordingly began another part. But our man again cried out to the artist, asking, "What part of the lion are you not painting?" The artist said, "I am doing the ears." Our man told him to try somewhere else. The artist was really bored, but he could do nothing and began another part again. Of course, our man again cried out to the artist, asking, "What part of the lion are you now painting?" The artist said, "I am doing the stomach." He again said he did not want the stomach. The artist was very angry, and he threw all the needles and paints and said, "Who has seen in this world a lion without tail, ears, and stomach? If you are so coward, why did you come here?" In this story, the lion is the symbol of being a human, and the needles are the difficulties we meet in life. So we must be patient to the pains, difficulties, and sorrows of life if we want to be real, good, and nature humans. Now comes our story 3 and 4. They are all about getting rid of our ego to be nature. The lion who hunted with the wolf and the fox. A lion, a wolf, and a fox went to hunting. and they caught a wild ox, a goat, and a rabbit. The lion then told the wolf to divide what they caught. The wolf said the ox should belong to the lion, the goat to himself, and the rabbit to the fox. The lion was angry with the wolf, because he had presumed to talk of I, and you, and my share, and your share, when it all belonged outright to the lion, and he killed the wolf with one blow of his paw. Then turning to the fox, he ordered him to make the division. The fox, seeing the death of the wolf, replied that everything should belong to the lion. The lion, happy with this, gave it all up to him, saying, "You are no longer a fox, but myself." Our second story. Once a man came and knocked at the door of his friend. His friend said, "Who are you?" He said, "It's I." He answered, "Do not enter, you are not allowed." The poor man went away, and after a time, missing his friend, he went again and drew near to the house of his friend. He knocked at the door in fear that some careless word might fall from his lips. His friend shouted, "Who is that at the door?" He answered, "It is you who are at the door, O beloved." The friend said, "Since it's I, let me come in. There is not room for two eyes in one house." This story was written to explain that till man destroys his self or his ego, he is no true friend of God. Now our story 5 comes. The travelers who ate the young elephant. A group of travelers lost their way in a forest and were very hungry. While they were thinking what to do, a wise man passing by told them that there were many young elephants in adjacent woods, and he warned them that if they killed one to eat, his parents would do everything to find them and kill them. Soon the travelers saw a young elephant and could not resist killing and eating it. Only one of them did not eat. Then they lay down to rest. When they were asleep, then a huge elephant came and began to smell the breath of each one of the sleepers in. Those whom he smelled to have eaten of his child's flesh, he killed without mercy, leaving only the one who had not eaten. Here we understand God's care for his children. The good people are God's children, absent or present. He is informed of their state, so if somebody does an evil to a good person, he will sooner or later be punished. Praise to God.